Hello and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to yet another session of inspiring conversations. Welcome to my live streaming. We are streaming on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and we are live. I am live from Kópavogur in Iceland. I will ask my guest to say that name in a bit. I want you to remember to sign up and subscribe for this podcast or these sessions on YouTube, Spotify, LinkedIn, or Facebook. Just use Dr. Google or Mr. Bing to find us. And now let's remember why we are doing this. So, inspiring conversations, it's all about creating conversations that really matter. We are diving into ways to connect deeply, break down barriers, and build moments that inspire trust and growth. Whether it's with your team at work or in your everyday chats, we will bring more positivity, realness, and impact into every conversation. And as always, I am in Kópavogur, Iceland. Well, I have been other places sometimes, but not often. But I live in Kópavogur, and this is my beautiful hometown with my beautiful church. And I live by the ocean. So if you find the church, maybe you would find me. We are only 390,000, so should not be a problem. But my guest today, Richard Clarke, of course, he has written a book, but it's not a book because it's an ebook. And of course, I signed up for it and I have it in my hands. And we will talk about it because 5 steps to make your team a little happier. Because why is it that Mr. Richard Clarke, he started a business, everybody felt fine, and then all of a sudden, half of them just said, "Oh, we want to leave. Hello."
Hello, Vogor.
Kopovo, yes, thank you. So I thought you would be in Gran Canaria.
I live in Gran Canaria, but this week, I am in England, in sunny England. Yeah, with my
Okay,
hoodie on. Yeah.
it can't be. It's no sun by me,
No,
so
no,
we are
no,
on the same.
no. Sorts of
So
rain.
where in England are you?
I'm in the south at the moment, near Portsmouth. Yeah,
Oh, don't. So is that not where your parents live, or
yeah, I am just visiting my parents this week. Yeah,
getting mama's food?
exactly. Yes,
So you and did you leave your family?
I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to visit my mom and getting her
Yeah, yeah,
food.
yeah. I've actually got some work tomorrow in Birmingham, but thought I'd pop in and say hello to my mum.
Of course. So, are you in your old room? Exactly how it was back then when you lived there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Lamborghini Countach picture on the wall. Yeah, yeah.
So, we know each other through our work as we met through Chief Happiness Officers
Yep.
community, Richard. But you have a good story about like you encountered happiness, everybody was happy around you, and then all of a sudden people just left. So
The-
let's start with, okay, who is Richard Clarke, and like give us a little backstory how this happened or what happened.
Wow, how far back do you want to go?
Not not when it started, like when your mom and dad were busy, but no, just why is it like? Did you start your company in Gran Canaria, or did you have it in UK, or how? Like,
So,
was it prior Brexit or before after Brexit, or like how is? Talk to me.
so I always wanted to set up a company. My parents used to run a company, and I loved going there. And I had this theory about 2013 that if I set up a company and I just made everyone happy, right, then everything would just work. I thought, yeah, if I just made all my team happy, that they'd well, it was a software company. I thought they'd just write better code and they'd get on better with my clients and job done. So 2014, I set up a company. It was called Secret Source. It was in Gran Canaria, and we provided software developers to companies in mainly in the UK. And yeah, that was how it all started. And as you said, yeah, a couple of years in, it worked. It was brilliant. We Everyone was happy, and yeah, growing. Not one person had left in the first 2 years. And we sent out an engagement survey, and 50% of my team said they wanted to go. And so it was at that point I realized that this making people happy at work was a little bit more complicated than just being a nice guy and chucking some free breakfasts around. Yeah. And so I
So
began.
so you are a computer learned guy. Like, did you go and study computer science or?
No, no, no. I'm the annoying project manager. The
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
now we
I'm that
start.
guy.
I don't want to talk to you anymore. No.
I'm that guy. I know the words, but I don't know how it all fits together, type thing. So yeah,
And what was your mother and father's company then?
So my dad he was an inventor. So he used to invent. He used to have an engineering company inventing medical machinery. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, so why Gran Canaria? Like, what was? Is that just? Did you already move there with your family,
So
or?
2001, I'd just come back from traveling, and we were all due to settle in the UK. I thought that was it. I'm now ready to start my life, get a serious job. So I got a job in London. My wife got a job as a teacher, and yeah, it rained. It does what Britain does in the winter. It rained a lot, a lot, a lot, and we thought, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So my wife got a job in Gran Canaria, and we thought we'll just go over there for a couple of years. We're still young, and yeah, we never came back.
So, do you look at your, like, are your kids, are they English or are they Spanish, or
They
do they carry double citizenship?
they are dual citizens. Yep. They When you ask them their nationality, they're obviously bilingual, but they say they're British. They were born in Spain, so they're sort of a mixture. They don't sound totally British. They sound a bit weird, and they don't sound totally Spanish. They sound a bit weird, um, but yeah, they're sort of a mixture. But they enjoy
I
being back.
ho- I hope they are not old enough to watch this. So,
They are. One's 18. She's on a gap year at the moment, and the other one's 16. So
and do you tell them that they sound weird when they speak
they know
English?
they
Or?
sound weird. They don't sound weird. They just don't. So they come to Britain and they don't understand teenage slang, for example. They
Oh yeah, that, like, you have to live it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. And
It
they've got
is
it.
just like now. In Even though I live in Iceland, I sometimes, because I have twins, they're 25. Sometimes I have to ask my daughter. I have both. I have a girl and a boy, and I have to ask my daughter to translate what my son is saying because I just can't understand him, and I'm just
Yeah,
like, is
yeah,
this an age thing or what? What, like, what's
yeah.
happened? But okay, so you started the company in 2014, and
Yep.
you did everything right, and you were like
I,
giving them stuff and the fruit
yeah,
basket every
yeah, yeah, yeah.
week and whatnot. And then you did the survey,
Yep.
the lovely survey that you are supposed to do from
Yeah,
HR point of view.
yeah, yeah.
And how much of a shock was it? Like, what did you, when you saw it, that 50% of your company wanted to leave? Like, what was it that you, did you just, what?
Yeah, it was a
And did you slam your head into the wall and say, like, what?
yeah,
No, I have to start.
it was a massive shock because question one it was how happy are you at work, and 7/8 out of 10. So people were saying they were happy, right? Question The last question was, do you see yourself here 1 year from now? And over 50%, I think, said no, they didn't see themselves. And yeah, I was utterly shocked because I thought, "Flip, what do I have to do? I am like the nicest, empathetic guy. I haven't got a corner office. I sit in the same room as you. I, I earn the same salary as you guys." And I thought, I'm super nice. We do all these cool stuff. What is it? And then we sat down with all of them, everyone individually, and said, "What? Why?" And it was very common. It was the same thing around most people. They said, "I don't know how to get a pay rise. I don't know how to get a promotion." It was that simple. We'd just completely forgotten about their careers. We'd focused on making it fun and having and being good bosses, but we'd forgotten about the career side of it and the learning. They were learning a bit on their job, but we hadn't structured it and stuff like that. And we didn't realize how important that was. And at that point, it was like a light bulb moment, like, oh right, this happiness thing's a bit more complicated than than I thought.
than a
Let's
croissant
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah, 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 yeah.
but you say we, so you were not alone in this business. Like
No, there
you
were
had a
two co-founders.
co-owner or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
me and Ted. Ted was a technical, he was the technical founder, and I was the other one.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but and then it was that. So after that, I just went down a, like an internet rabbit hole, finding what makes people happy at work. So, and in those days, 2014, there wasn't a huge amount around. There wasn't. It was quite a new thing. This well-being at work. It was all about slides and table football and stuff in those days. There wasn't much around. So
Ping pong. Don't forget the ping pong
lots
for
of lots of
the computer
yeah,
nerds,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for the
yeah,
programmers.
yeah,
But well, you did this in 2016, must be
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
you had the yeah. So and yes, there was not probably not much of happiness at work. I
No,
think
no,
I came across it in 2018 when
yeah,
the Danish founder of Woohoo
yeah,
Unlimited, no, Woohoo Inc.,
yeah,
uh, and I participated in a Chief Happiness Officer Academy
yeah,
where I came across it,
mm-hmm.
and it was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I didn't even realize that you had like there was plenty of research and there was like
mm-hmm.
everything about it, and we didn't know about it. But
Yeah.
so and when you dived into this in 2016, did you find Alexander Kerolf, or what was it that you found that was interesting? Because the lingo of the academia is
Mm-hmm.
sometimes so ridiculous that
Yeah,
you have to have a translator to translate what they figure out because it's also technical or whatnot.
yeah, yeah.
Was the psychological safety book by Sonia's?
Lieber
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
Was that been? Did she publish the book by
I
then?
don't know. So that was the first thing I came across was psychological safety, but that was through the Google Project Aristotle study.
Okay, yeah,
That was almost like the first thing I came across. And then so I read about that, discovered psychological safety, found about Amy Edmondson, started reading about that, and then there was lots of like, oh my gosh, so that's why this team doesn't work, that's why this client doesn't talk to us, this, oh okay, lots of light bulb moments flashing everywhere. So psychological safety, we focused a lot on that for a while, and then it was just picking up bits and pieces over the years, and I got this huge list of things: recognition, appreciation, autonomy, and it was getting longer and longer and longer. This list of like 50 things. I think, how the hell am I supposed to do this? Every week I've got to check: is everyone got autonomy? And then I think the big thing for me was in what must have been 2021, maybe 2022, the US Surgeon General, they did their guide to well-being, and they split it into 5 categories, and then I thought, oh brilliant, I can remember 5, I can remember five words, I don't have to remember
yeah.
37. Yeah. and then since then, yes, all seems to have
So,
made sense. Yeah.
so you were talking about the loneliness report.
No, well, that was
Oh
similar
no,
time. Yeah,
yeah, that was after. That was in 2023, possibly.
yeah. It was the same
The
U.S.
epidemic.
Surgeon General. I can't remember the name of the
Yeah,
Surgeon General. Yeah, but it
yeah,
was the same guy that
yeah,
did the well-being report with the 5 essentials, and then the
yeah.
loneliness
Came,
stuff. Yeah,
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 because I think that came in 2023 because that
yeah, yeah,
was he talked about an epidemic situation
exactly. Yeah,
in
yeah,
loneliness.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So your work, because I mentioned that like we are going to talk, like our topic was why happy teams still leave.
yeah,
Well, and we will go around it, and you have mentioned two things that you
yeah,
did not, people didn't know how to progress in the job, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
people didn't know how to get a raise,
yeah,
because that is something of an importance,
yeah,
even though money is seldom like it's you are happy for 15 minutes and then you need more because
yeah,
everything is getting higher.
yeah.
So as I mentioned that I when did you write this book? Because if people go to your website,
Mm-hmm.
which will be underneath now,
Look
I'm
at
so technical. I'm so
that.
technical,
Hey,
Richard.
really clever. Really clever.
Ooh. But this is all like this is all like from Restream because they have this. I feel like a TV star. So Richard Clarke, Richard www.richardclarke.eu.
Yeah,
There you will find this little. Well, it's a 20-pager.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Although there is not much on some pages, it's because it's only like a reclaimer or something. Uh, so when did you put this out? Because
Yeah, I
it is
wrote
an
it.
important thing. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I wanted to write something that sort of summarized everything I did that was you could read in under 15 minutes. People
Okay. Yeah.
look, there are so many books I've read, and I've got through chapter 1 and 2 and never got to the end. And I just wanted something where the key points you could get in 15 minutes, and you could
Yeah.
walk away with, okay, that's how it works. Now I've got the basics. If I'm interested, I can go on and learn somewhere some more. But
And
but
definitely before AI.
yeah. It was definitely before AI. Yeah. Now it would have
Mm.
taken me like 5 minutes to write, but it took me a while in the days.
Yeah. But okay, so like if we go through these 5 steps, because you
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have the introduction, and you say that this guide is split up to into 3 sections.
yeah.
So, and you mentioned that number one, why is team happiness important?
Hmm.
And then you have section two, happiness in the workplace, the basics.
Yeah.
And then section three is 5 steps for team leaders to make their teams a little happier.
A little bit.
Why just a little? Like, why not a lot?
Because have you ever read the book 10% Happier by Dan? What? It's a book on
Sullivan.
meditation. No, it's a book on meditation. He was a
Oh,
he was a news presenter in the States, had a panic attack on TV, was out of a job for a while. He was taking a lot of drugs and stuff like that.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
Dan, someone or other. Anyway, he then, when he came back, he was given the job of researching well-being, and meditation in particular, and he was a real skeptic. And the book is about him, his skepticism, and then how it actually transformed his life. And he said, look, it doesn't hasn't suddenly made him a super happy person, but it's just made him a little bit happier. Um, and that's what I liked about it. We're not aiming to suddenly make your company into the best, happiest, joyful place in the world, but enough so that everyone comes to work and they enjoy it and they leave at the end of the day. Um, yeah.
but yes, okay, that I can understand because it is the small steps. You don't eat
Yeah,
the
yeah,
elephant in one bite and all of that, and it's a small step and not a 7 mile step and yada yada yada. But when you are talking to, because you sold your company and then you have started this business around, you go and
hmm
talk about this stuff and help companies uh, do this.
yep.
I remember, like, we met in London in, what was it, in 2023
Yeah, I think
or
2020.
24, like when we were at the yeah, I can't remember the house. I just only remember I took the Elizabethan line
We went to see
through the
Happy.
venue.
Yeah, we went to see Happy Inc. with
Yes. So and we were talking about that, how do you sell happiness? Like, the when because people, when I ask people, like, so have you heard about happiness at work? What are you saying? My people are not happy? Like, what
yeah,
is this? And they have this skepticism about happiness. So
yep.
I have started to talk about, like, you can call it whatever you like, but at the end of the day, are people happy, or do they feel better after coming to work that day?
Yep.
It just depends on how you say it. So
Yeah,
when you are, because selling happiness is the hardest thing that I
yeah,
have ever come across
yeah,
with. So when you are talking to leaders
yeah.
and you can hear the skepticism,
hmm
what do? Have you heard about Dan? He said 10%. Like, that is
No,
not the sales pitch, is it?
no, no. Look, I say to them, look, I can give you any stat you want about productivity, absenteeism, staff retention. They all prove they're more profitable, more revenue. They're all there. And I say, but the bottom line is, if you make your team happier, right, your job will be a lot easier because you will walk in the morning, you won't have to deal with as many problems, and you will enjoy going to work. And importantly, if you look after your team, the moment you need them, they'll be there for you. And they go, oh, it's that simple. I go, yeah, it's like being married, isn't it? If you look after your husband, if you look after your wife, yeah, they'll look
Yeah,
after you as well. If you're horrible to them, they're not
yeah.
going to be nice back. It's
Well, then they leave, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then I gather, because the first section says, why is team happiness important? And you slam it to the face. Hey, mate, happiness is a science.
it
I
is.
remember when I was working for the council, and all of a sudden we were all meant to be mindfulness, and we were to meditate, and but I did all of that, but my problems didn't go away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like, how is it a science? Because what is the science between happiness, behind
So,
happiness?
for me, what like so we've all got needs. We've all got needs at work. There's hundreds of needs, whether it's recognition, whether it's learning, whether it's having meaning in work, right? Everyone's slightly different, but we all have our individual needs, and if those individual needs are fulfilled, yeah, we're more likely to be happy, right? If they're not fulfilled, we get
Uh,
stressed and we become unhappy. So the way I like to explain it is there are known factors that will make you happier at work, right? And there are known factors that will make you unhappy at work. And it's really simple. You provide those factors that make you happy and take away those factors that don't make you happy. It's that simple. The problem is diagnosing what a team's already providing or not providing, and then making sure that you provide the other stuff. So all the meditation stuff, do you know what? That probably worked for one person in your team because that's what they needed that day. Yeah. But they didn't ask you what you needed. Maybe you needed more recognition, or you needed to learn more, or something like that. So it's just about making sure that your needs or your team needs are fulfilled. You can't make everyone happy; it's impossible because everyone's got different
Yeah.
lives and different circumstances. But what you can do is provide an environment where as many of those needs are fulfilled as possible.
So I find it a little bit funny because
Yeah.
you
Funny,
quote
ha
Matt
ha. Or
Phelan.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it is. I would point. Like, wait a minute. Don't be pushy. So
Yeah.
Matt Phelan, who has the from the Happiness Index, a great
Yeah.
company, and they do a great job. He
Yeah.
says, and his quote is, "As any expert gardener will explain, you can't guarantee all your plants will grow, but you can provide the right conditions and ingredients to give your seedlings the best chance of success." End quote. And what
Yeah.
do I have this here? If
Lovely.
speaking kindly to plants helps them grow, imagine what speaking kindly to humans can do.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
and and sometimes you watch people be nicer to animals than the
Yeah.
fellow
Yeah.
human beings.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if we break it a little bit down, like
Yeah.
you say, happy teams versus normal teams,
Yeah.
13% more productive, significant reduction in staff turnover intentions. Yes, happy salespeople produce 37% more profit.
Yeah.
That must be something.
Yeah.
And then 20% greater increase in share value year on year compared to the S&P 500.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a study done 2 years ago. Yeah, that was a big study
Yeah,
from the BBC.
2023.
Yeah.
So why don't leaders listen more to that?
Because they don't believe it. It's too fluffy. They don't. They don't. It's also. It doesn't. The effect isn't instant. So you make a team happier, they don't make more profit that week or that month or probably even that year, but over time. So I was listening to an interview with Amy Edmondson the other day,
Yeah,
uh, and she said psychological safety. She said a team that doesn't have any psychological safety, you will see no difference in that team and one that does have psychological safety in a month, in 6 months, even in a year. But in 2 years' time, the team that have psychological safety will have taken more risks, they will have innovated more, and they will be miles ahead of the other one. And the problem is, it takes a while to actually see a result. And businesses, they don't work like that. They work by quarters. So, yeah, that's yeah,
but you don't. It's just like in football or
yeah,
soccer.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
exactly.
become
Yeah,
champions just by like buying this and that. Like, and
yeah.
success doesn't happen overnight.
No, 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 no,
It takes
exactly.
time.
hmm But yeah, you've seen how often they change football managers. Yeah, because they want
Yeah,
that.
and for the absolutely no right reason and whatsoever.
Yeah.
But so okay, they must be getting better at this because this is
Hmm.
so much in the talk. Like, is it? Am I wrong? Because I am on an island and like I'm in Iceland, but I'm on the internet and I feel like it's more
You,
talked about.
you're in your own little bubble. I think it is talked about a bit. Look, I talk at events, and one of the things I say in my so I talk about psychological safety, and I will
Uh,
say to the audience, raise your hands if you know what psychological safety is. Um, if I talk to an HR conference, yeah, 80%, 90% of the audience will know what it is, and someone will be happy to explain to everyone else. I did an accountancy conference a couple of weeks ago. Not one person in a 300-person audience knew what it was. So, yeah, exactly. So, depends on the industry, depends on your position, but it's, yeah, more people do know, but the vast majority have no idea, in my
uh,
experience. Yeah.
But maybe like accountants, they work in numbers and they
Mhm.
just do it by like that is their skills, and they don't have to speak to anybody unless it's like, oh, what is the formula for blah blah blah. But because I was talking to one person, of course I can't remember his name, but we were talking about, is this regarded as soft skills?
Yeah.
Because you are supposed to be nurturing, as you mentioned. You didn't go and like pat them on the back and say, "Okay, you are doing fine," and do you want a pay raise, or like, do you want to do this or that? Like, is it a soft skill, and why is it regarded as a bad thing? Because it's soft.
I don't think it's regarded as a bad thing. I think it's not necessary. So going back to the accountants, yeah, they have a bad reputation. They're focusing on numbers and Excel spreadsheets. But after that event, a number of them came up to me and they have the same problems that any other business had. Yeah, my team are overworked and they're burning out. My team are leaving. I can't get my remote workers to engage. They all have the same problems. And do you know what? They of all the people I speak to, when I gave them, right, so I see this as a problem. This is like the remote team. They're lacking in connection, and I gave them three things that they could do that would increase that team's feeling of connection with the rest of the team, the feeling of belonging. Three concrete things, and they were far more receptive than other audiences I've had. They're like, okay, so it's actually right. So here's something that's missing. Here are three things that will fulfill what's missing, and therefore will change the outcome there. Um, yeah, so it's still regarded as soft skills, but it has hard results. If you see what I mean.
You
Yeah.
have to name the three things that you said to the accountants. Now I am interested. Like, what did you say? Because this is so like this when you when you say that the accountants they are burning out because, oh, don't be a wuss or don't cry. Like, you just
Yeah.
work and work. Like, oh, this is what we were taught to do, and this is how the work is done.
Yeah.
And we are all human because we can't work 45 to 60 hours per week and never put our feet up or enjoy the time with family or
Mhm.
whatever. So what were the three things? Can you mention them, or are they
Hey,
secret
it's top
only to accountants?
top secret, and you have to come to one of my events to to listen. So let's say the one of them came to me, and the problem was their remote team. They had a team of, when I say remote team, people think of their team in Philippines or something like this. It wasn't. It was a
Yeah.
team of working mothers who used to be in the office. After COVID, they all decided to work from home, and they hadn't come back to the office, right? And so they were coming into the office maybe once every 3 months, even though some of them lived quite locally.
Okay.
And she was feeling that they weren't connected with the rest of the team. And so I asked her a question, said, "Do you treat them exactly the same as the people that come into the office?" And she said, "Well, yes, yes, we do." I said, "Well, do you? Do you have informal conversations with them like you do in the office?" No, I don't do that. So I said, "Well, okay, let's make it simple. Here's one thing you can do. When you have your Zoom meeting from 1 till 2, open it at 12:50. Make everyone come along at 12:50, but between 12:50 and 1, you are not allowed to talk about work." Right? So you have that, you're recreating that moment of walking up the stairs to the meeting room where you say, "Did you watch um, whatever,
Simpsons.
Love Island
Yeah.
last night?" That's your favorite TV. You were telling me just before we started, wasn't it? Love Island or
Oh
Below Deck?
God, no, no. Ah!
Naked Celebrity Jungle Fever or something, whatever the latest one is.
Oh, you're bad.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
they missed the chit chat. They
yeah,
missed
yeah.
the just the ordinary, like, oh, I went to the cinemas yesterday.
Yeah, exactly, and they're not building those personal relationships. She also was doing less one-to-ones with her remote workers. So I
Yeah.
said, "Wait, you need to do that." Um, yeah, lots of little things that you can do, but you've got the key thing is what is the problem, and then you just fix that problem by making small changes. You don't go, what's the problem? Okay, let's do some meditation for everybody, or let's get some mental health support for everybody. No, what's the actual problem, and let's make changes to our system to. So I really get one of my favorite stories is I worked with a big company last year. It was an IT company, and they did their engagement survey, and the it came out, and the developers have reported lack of autonomy. Okay, and they said that we don't have control of our work. And we showed it to the managers, and the managers said that's absolute rubbish. They said they've got loads of autonomy. They can work from home 3 days a week. They have flexi time. They can choose what computers they can use. They can the way they do their work is designed so they have total freedom in there. He said the reason they put that is because we've just changed our flex time policy, and to say they have to be in the office from 9:30 to 3:30 instead of 10 till 4 or something like that. And so management weren't going to do anything about it. But anyway, we sat down with the team. It was about 30 people, and it took about an hour for it to come out. Um, but they said the reason is we come into the office in the morning, we start our workday at home, and our calendar's empty. By 10 o'clock, there's 4 meetings in there, chucked in by management, by my team manager, by this team or whatever. They said, I have no idea when I'm going to have 2 hours free to actually do my job. One of them said, I've got no idea when I can have lunch because I don't know if I can have it at 1 or 12 or whatever because they keep chucking it in. So that was the problem. All we did in that team was, and this was a joint decision between management and the developers, was block the calendars from 10 till 2, right? You're not allowed to put any meetings in between those times. And yeah, instant, oh, thank you very much for listening. So instant gratification from the team, but this was done what 6 9 months ago. They're still doing it and reporting much higher levels of autonomy at work. They feel they have more control. So find what the problem is, fix it. Yeah. So less happiness.
I understand now. I understand now. Little happier.
Yeah. Yeah, and you do 10 of those, and suddenly you feel you've got autonomy, you feel you're being recognized for your job, and suddenly you leave work and oh, I'm not stressed anymore. I'm not bothered by that manager anymore. Oh, I had quite a nice
And
day.
you never mentioned happiness.
Exactly. Yeah.
But okay, so back to the lovely ebook you wrote,
Oh,
because
yes.
I find it, because you mentioned autonomy,
Yeah.
and because then I can have, I love this feature that I can, like, then your website can be underneath,
Cool.
and
Yeah,
people
yeah,
can download your 5 steps to make your team a little
yeah.
happier, and keep them,
Yeah.
not like you don't lose them.
Yeah. On
So
your fridge.
the happiness in the workplace, the
Hmm.
basics. So there are
Hmm.
5 essentials of workplace happiness. So uh, the according to, like, the U.S. Surgeon General,
Hmm.
the essentials can be grouped into 5 needs:
Yep.
safety, community, autonomy, work-life balance, purpose, and opportunity for growth.
Yep.
So how is it that all of this mixture, is this what you base your work on, these five
Um.
things?
Yeah. Not I base my work on, but when I'm trying to explain to people what you need at work, here are 5
Yeah.
things that you can easily remember, right? Within
Yeah.
each of those, it breaks down because you've got recognition. You need recognition. You need to feel challenged in your work, and those are all sort of subcategories. But um, starting with those five, people go, "Oh, okay, that makes sense now." Yeah, it's a bit
And
like
how,
it's a bit
yeah.
like if you want to get healthy, right? You sleep more, do some exercise, and eat well. Right, those are three categories, and in within the eat well, you can break that down into less carbohydrates, more protein, less fats, or whatever. And but yeah, three basic rules,
Yeah.
and those are the five basic rules for work.
But you like then the community bit that is must be like the people who's working from home that they don't feel a
Mhm.
part of something
Yeah,
bigger than themselves, and the
exactly.
autonomy you have gone. We have just talked about the autonomy and the safety, but then we have purpose and opportunity for growth.
Yep.
So do you have any uh, stories or interactions with people from your work about the
Mhm.
purpose where people come to you and say, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here?
Yeah, so they don't usually use the word purpose, and they don't usually use the word meaning. So that's not
Okay.
language they use to describe how they're feeling. So what? Let me give you an example of one guy. Um, he he said he enjoyed his actual work, right? So he was a programmer. He enjoyed being a programmer. He enjoyed the challenge of it. He loved his team. He loved learning. But his exact words were, "I feel like my job is a bit pointless." Right. And another one at another occasion said, "I feel like a monkey putting blocks through holes." Yeah, that's how they might describe that they don't feel they're making a difference. Um, and so with the first developer, um, what we did was we looked at what he was doing, and what was happening was his client was deciding what to do, and then saying, right, can you do this task? Can you put this button up here, for example? Or can you create this form and put it there? He didn't know why he was doing it. He didn't know if it had been success or anything like. He was doing a good job and it was all working, but he didn't know why he was doing it. So in his case, all there's just a couple of really simple things that we did. So the first one, we involved him. We asked the client to involve him in the decision making process. So when they're planning, um, so he understood why he was putting a button up on the right hand side instead of the left hand side, or writing a form. And the second thing, and this was a really nice idea, and this was from the client themselves, they each month they would ask their final clients, their end clients, to when they released a new feature, they'd ask their end clients to do a little video testimonial saying thank you for doing this. Now I can do this, or this has helped me do this. This has helped me save time doing this. And then in their monthly meeting, he would share it with our developer. Now this was 7 years ago. That developer still works for the company now. And at that point, he was just about to leave because he felt his work was pointless. We fixed that, and he's still there 7 years later.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, when I was working for the council,
yeah,
for Reykjavik Council, there were so many things that we did that were just, we did them. And then 6 months later, we didn't even know
yeah,
if they were used or not. So
yeah,
sometimes it felt like, why are we doing this? It will not be
exactly.
used anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So okay, and you have an interesting story about the bricklayer when the
Yeah,
bricklayer from one day in 6071.
yeah, yeah. It's a famous story, this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other famous story is, and I don't know if it's a fib, is
The
about the guy who worked for NASA.
cleaner. Yeah.
Yes, the cleaner or the custodian,
Yeah,
where he was asked, "What are you doing?" "I'm putting men on the moon,"
yeah, yeah.
because
Have you,
he knew he was a part of something bigger.
have you come across the study of hospital cleaners in America?
No.
No, I love this study. So they, this was 8 years ago, maybe. Group of, I wish I could remember who the authors were, but anyway, they noticed that there were a group of cleaners in American hospitals that were happier than other cleaners. They reported sort of better job satisfaction, and they did exactly the same job. They cleaned the same floors, they worked exactly the same hours, they worked in exactly the same place, but they reported much higher levels of job satisfaction. And what they did was they spoke to the different sets of cleaners, and what they found was the ones that were happier at work said they didn't belong to the maintenance team. They belonged to the care team. And they saw their role as an integral part of looking after the patients and the visitors to the hospital. So, one of them, for example, would he would have different, or she would have different floor cleaning products with different fragrances. And she would ask the patients, which fragrance would you prefer? And then what mop the floor with the pine one or with the sea breeze one, something like that. But they had purpose in their life. Their job had meaning rather than clean the floor or clean the
Yeah,
toilet. Do you see what I mean?
yeah.
Mm.
So exciting. And then the
Yeah.
last one is the opportunity for growth.
Yep.
How do you look at it? Because, well, we talk about salary
Yeah.
and we talk about stepping a leader, like to being promoted and stuff, even though, yes, maybe you can be a leader, but are you ready for it? Like, how do you,
There's
because
different.
sometimes you are
Yeah.
pushed
Yeah.
up to be a leader. And then you just, when people ask you, so what do you do? I haven't got the faintest idea. I just show up
Yeah.
and I say yes and no, and I hope it's right.
You call it accidental manager. Yeah. Yeah. Have you come across something which I love? It's called the Peter Principle, right? Where you're promoted to um, your position of maximum incompetence. Okay, so
No.
as a salesman, you do really well, and then you keep getting promoted until you become totally useless at that job. At which point you don't get promoted anymore. So that's the whole point. You get promoted to be a manager, but you're not very good at a manager, so you don't get promoted to that. So yeah,
Ah, okay.
that,
And
that
is that, do we call that a something?
it's called the Peter Principle. Yeah.
Oh, so we have to put on LinkedIn or wherever, we have to put two links, one to the hospital story and then this story. Like this is good. So because we only have 10 minutes.
Okay.
So okay, and we have you learned the hard way that, and
Yep.
it was a wet cloth in your face, smack, and you just like, what? I have done everything for you,
Yeah.
and you started to look at this, and you came up with in this fabulous small 20 pager
I know.
that you have 5 steps,
Yeah.
and so step number one
Yeah.
is make happiness a priority.
Yes.
And you talk about commitment. So you have to
Mhm.
put someone in charge, because
Yeah.
if anyone and everybody think that somebody has something to do with this, then nothing will happen.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So put somebody in charge, but make happiness as a KPI. Why don't you have it as HPI, happiness point?
Performance indicator.
And then
Yeah.
learn the basics, like, because nobody has to be a expert in happiness. It's just like, what does
Mm.
like when I on the International Day of Happiness
Mhm.
in February, I think, or March, I asked, like, we were four, and I asked them, okay, what is happiness for you? And happiness was just, we had all different meanings about happiness.
Yeah.
So we have to basically like talk us like, I'm not talking about being smiling every day, and that is not the thing. It's just like, do something extraordinary, go the extra mile,
Mhm.
and it does not involve alcohol. Oh, please. I don't drink, so that's why. So how do you when you say that, like make happiness a priority? What do they say? What does people say?
Well, the way I explain it is if you wanted to make sales a priority in your company. So I before I explain this, I give them the stats and I go and they understand that if their team's happier, all these other things will improve. And they go,
Yeah,
okay, that's interesting. So I said, if you can make your team happier, yeah, you'll be more profitable, you'll have less blah 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 blah. And they go, okay. So um, therefore, you need to make it a strategy. You can't just do it. You need to treat it like everything else in your company. So if you wanted to improve sales in your company, you'd put someone in charge, you'd write a strategy, you'd do some KPIs or whatever, and you'd meet about it regularly. You just need to treat it like you would any other metric in your company. That's all I'm saying. Don't treat it specially as a special thing. Treat it like everything else, but don't treat it less than everything else because it's
yeah.
just as important as everything else.
And then this is for the data nerds.
Yeah,
The diagnose, send it to the doctor,
yeah,
diagnose,
yeah,
or you have to understand your team and culture,
yeah, yeah,
and like you did that. You went all in, and you figure out. Oh, I can see, or they told you
yeah.
this is what the two things,
No,
very big things that you
yeah, yeah, big
forgot,
thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but you you did go and to see and understand the team and the culture.
yeah, yeah.
Have you ever met a person in your lectures or in your workshops or whatever, and who said, I understand my team perfectly.
Oh yeah, all the time, all the time.
Did I
Yeah,
play, did I say it right?
yeah, you
I
certainly
understand
did.
my, and
Yeah,
what do you say? Like what, like when you encounter the person who says, yeah, I know my team.
yeah, yeah. I know what. Yeah, the problem is, well, it's very someone. You know what it's like when someone is so sure of their own beliefs, it's very difficult to persuade them otherwise.
There is a
Yeah,
lot of that going on right now in the world, so
yeah,
we
yeah,
know
yeah,
everything about
exactly.
that.
I wasn't going to bring up certain people.
But that's life. Like we have to
Yeah,
just live with it, and hopefully it will be better. But
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so what is it like? Then okay, and then you make a survey
So
because
yeah, so
people love survey, or you check it, and then they get hit in the face with a wet cloth, and you say
exactly.
you don't understand them.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, so prioritize it. Yeah, and then just find out. And the way I phrase it is I don't say find out what's wrong. I say find out what you're doing well, right? So
Yeah,
focus on that. Find this, do this, and you will see what you're doing really well and what you need to continue.
yeah.
Because no leader wants to find out that they're doing this wrong, but they do want to find out, oh, he's a great manager, or he gives he trusts people. So find out what you're doing really well, okay? And you might also find out a couple of things that you can improve as well. Yeah,
But yeah, yes. Also, the main thing is that we are not in this happiness. We, the happiness people, we are not finding what's wrong.
yeah,
It's like, okay, you do good stuff,
yeah,
but then there is stuff maybe that you just haven't considered,
exactly. That's more like yeah, yeah,
what you did, and then you can improve that. Like how it is also, it is a balance, isn't it? So
exactly. Yeah,
so and 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 the third step is change.
yeah,
Well, and you say important with bold letters and big
Mhm.
ones, involve the team,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because the team wants autonomy and they want to belong and they
yeah.
want to decide what, isn't it?
Couple of
So do
things.
you have any stories? Do you have any stories about that?
So a couple of things, right? One, the team understand what they're missing.
Yeah,
That's the most that's important, right? If HR say, oh, I've seen this survey. I'm going to make this decision. They don't really understand why people have answered the way they are. And the second thing, it's called the IKEA effect.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
if you build something yourself or you're involved in building it, you value it, and you're far more likely to be you want it to be a success. So get your team involved in designing the initiatives to fix the things, and it's much more likely to be a success. Stories like um, yeah, all lots of stories. So we years ago, one of our team said they wanted Google. Do you know Google's 20% time? Um, Google,
yeah. I think so.
Google, they
That.
said 20% of your time is involved. You get to spend on your own project, right?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. We introduced that in our company, right? And we introduced it. We didn't involve the team in it. It failed after 3 weeks. Nobody did it. Nobody. We
Yeah.
thought it would be a good idea. Nobody actually wanted it, and so it failed after 3 weeks. Then the team came to us and said, "Thank you very much for thinking of us here. Um, we don't actually want this because we want to work with our friends. I don't actually have any idea, but we did quite like not having meetings on a Friday. Can we not have meetings on a Friday?" And so we introduced that. And so that was their
Yeah.
idea. And then they very successfully organized their meetings themselves for the rest of the week. So it wasn't affected their output.
And that is a power of small changes.
Yes.
So, so then the step four is to check, like
Yeah.
having a weekly pulse, just
Yep.
meeting what is going on. And
Mhm.
I'm particularly excited about talking to uh, Mr. Bostic, Glenn Bostic.
Yep.
He's a Canadian, and I was talking to him pre-chat, and then
Mm.
all of a sudden I was in a Friday meeting with his company, like for 15 minutes, and I was like, they were doing exercise and stuff.
Mm.
Fabulous! It was so much fun,
Okay.
and I could just see how energized they were, and it was
Mhm.
just fun, and just yeah. You say that like there are the easiest way and then easy way.
Yeah.
There are loads of things you can do, and then you have the chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is there a success story? Have you met a company where you introduced, or like, I know that this is not like you have to, yeah, we have done step one, check, or
Yeah.
whatever. But have you met people who have followed your advice and said, Richard, you were a, okay, for the lack of a better word, lifesaver, or a, like, how do you talk about it when you save maybe a culture or something?
So I'm all about small changes, as you've
Yeah.
probably noticed. And so
Yes.
I do get a lot of people saying, after your talk, we did this one small thing, and it has changed this. And so I have, like, the IT company, they still block out their calendar. Now have a monthly breakfast meeting with their well-being team. That's a new thing. I work with a school, and they now do one-to-ones, and they now do a monthly pulse survey as well, and they do an engagement survey. So I know that I can. It's very difficult to change a whole culture and introduce whole new procedures. But if I can get one or two small things in there that will make a little very specific difference and addresses a very specific need, that's the most effective way. Um, that's the way I can be the most effective. So yeah, lots of success stories, but they're all, yeah.
But this is brilliant
Thank you.
because do you know what? Now we have spoken for 1 hour.
There we go. Exactly
Time
one.
time flies when you're having fun. And
Exactly.
like I know that we could probably talk for several hours about this.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you about just for like I need to involve you in the our favorite week of the year. I need to
International.
talk to you on the International Week of Happiness at Work, which will
Yeah.
be the last week in September, 21st to 25th.
Yeah.
Everybody can participate. No, like just if you don't have any of the ideas, you can. I know that Richard would probably say, yeah, you can do this small thing. But we need to do something, and we will have something together.
Yeah.
I know that because that was on my agenda, but you didn't just know it yet.
Nah, putting it in my calendar now.
Yes, and you can find the people around us. They can find you on LinkedIn and Facebook.
LinkedIn mainly. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
find.
yeah, yeah. But you use Facebook. I tagged you yesterday, and you.
Yeah.
I know that you have not been eager user of Facebook
I'm
because
certainly
you're
not.
British. You're British, and you use more WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And then there is the. I have to put the book up again and the website, because go to Richard's website, www.richardclarke.eu. That is www.richardclarke.eu, and download, or like you have to put your email in and download the 5 steps to make your team a little happier. And because in my mind, it is just easy. This is easy peasy lemon squeezy.
It is. It is. Yeah.
So I just want to thank you a lot, Richard, because this is your time is valuable, and yada 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 and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I think that we have to address this, and we just, because the topic was why happy teams still leave. Because if you don't nurture the people, they will figure out a way and say, "Oh, you didn't do this. I'm leaving."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
this has been a fabulous, fantastic chat, fantastic session. And but I have to sign off with next week. Then it will be June 18th. I will talk to Dr. Evelyn Curtis, and what happens when computers start thinking more like humans. So she is in the AI space. Yes, thank you very much. So I will be in a deep hole, probably understanding nothing.
Good
But you have to
luck.
go there. You have to have fun, don't you?
Yeah.
So next week we will be talking about what happens when computers start thinking more like humans, because everybody's talking about AI, but AI will not make you happy.
Mm.
And again, Richard, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And as always, to people out there, be curious, be interested, be inspired, and the newest one, be audacious. So thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you.